Before a crown falls silent, there is always a last breath and a last thought. Some endings are gentle, some are hard, and some hide behind rumor even now. If real royal history pulls you in, stay with me until the final minute, because the last few names in this part complete the puzzle in a way you will not forget. Do not tap away. Keep watching till the end so you do not miss the small turns that give big meaning. We open with age moving at a slow, kind pace. Queen Juliana of the Netherlands lived into her 90s and died after pneumonia, remembered for warmth and a simple style that people loved. Queen Victoria, born in 1819, died at 81 after a stroke. An age closed with the woman whose name it still bears. Maria I of Portugal lived into her 80s as well and died after heart trouble, the first woman to rule that crown in her own right. Margaret of Provence, wise and calm, ended her story in old age and left a path of charity. Livia Drusilla, Empress of Rome, died at an advanced age after shaping an empire from behind the curtain. Old age is not often the headline, but it is the wish many rulers never lived to see. Illness wrote many final lines. Elizabeth of Russia died after years of sickness even as art and music filled her court. Mary of Teck died at 85 with illness in her lungs, after holding steady through to world wars. Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz died of pneumonia after a life beside George III, her mind quick and hands busy with care. Queen Louise of Sweden died of tuberculosis in her early 40s, proof that a gentle heart cannot shield a weak lung. Maria Theresa of France died from a deep infection, a quiet end for a woman who had lived under heavy pressure. Catherine de' Medici died at 69 after lung infection and years of struggle. She had carried sons and a crown through storms. Queen Louise of Prussia, known for grace and bravery, died at 34 after pneumonia in the Napoleonic age. Josephine de Beauharnais died of pneumonia too. Far from battle and closer to gardens and letters. Other illnesses were harder to name in their time. Mary of Modena is thought to have died from cancer after a long illness in exile. Anne of Austria suffered what we now call breast cancer while she still held France stable as regent. Isabella I of Castile likely died of cancer of the womb after years of hard work. That changed a whole world. Mary of Guise died after long sickness with swelling and pain. Old words call it dropsy, but the heart sits behind that word. Alexandra of Denmark, later Queen of the United Kingdom, died after a heart attack in old age. Her famous style now still and calm. Alexandra's mother-in-law, Queen Victoria, had gone before her. In the end, even the greatest houses are only families saying goodbye. Blood and Law also wrote endings, and Boleyn died on the scaffold at 35, the sharp edge of politics cutting a life in one stroke. Catherine Howard, not yet 20, met the same fate in the same place. Lady Jane Grey, only 17, paid for other people's plans with her life. Mary, Queen of Scots, walked to her death after years of hopes, fears, and long walls. Marie Antoinette, a symbol to friends and foes alike, met the blade at 37 while a city shouted around her. Centuries later and far away, Alexandra Fyodorovna, last Empress of Russia, died by gunfire with her family in a dark basement. A crown went out like a lamp in the night. Childbirth stood to the side of many beds like a shadow. Isabella of Hainaut died at 19 after labor. Maria II of Portugal died at 34 in childbirth while trying to move her country forward. Constance of Castile also died from childbirth risk after a union meant to tie houses together. Catherine of Valois died at 35 after illness linked to childbirth. The child she left would help shape the fate of England. Isabella of Hainaut, Isabella of Jerusalem, and many more tell the same hard truth. In those years, the path to a royal heir could open a door to death. Many queens died far from the homes they once ruled. Isabella II of Spain died in exile after influenza. Victoria Eugenie, queen by marriage, died abroad as well. A life that moved from palaces to quiet rooms. Elizabeth Woodville died in seclusion after the storms of the Wars of the Roses, her heart tied to the sons she lost. Mary of Guise died in Edinburgh, far from the peace she tried to win for her daughter. Elizabeth Stuart, the Winter Queen of Bohemia, died of pneumonia after long exile. grace and humor kept to the end. Some rulers stood tall for years and then went softly. Eleanor of Aquitaine died at great age after outliving kings, sons, prisons, and wars. Blanche of Castile died after guiding a boy into a king and a nation into order. Matilda of Flanders died after illness but left a model for queens who do more than wave. Margaret I of the North died after a stroke, but the union she made outlived her. Christina of Sweden shocked Europe by leaving her throne and later died in Rome. A patron and a mind at ease. The map widens, yet the notes stay the same. Nzinga of Ndongo and Matomba died at about 80 after long years of war, peace talks, and rule. Finally, the body said no more. Amina of Zotzau, in House of Story, is said to have died in battle with dust on her feet and steel in her hand. Soraya Tazi of Afghanistan died in exile after illness, but her ideas moved forward through others. Tamara of Georgia died loved by her people. The cause was not written down, yet the grief was real. France gives us rooms of gold and endings of grey. Maria Theresa of Spain, wife to Louis XIV, died after infection and a deep infection. Louise of Lorraine, widowed queen to Henry III, died in deep grief. Margaret of Valois died after long illness, her life told again and again by poets and painters. Anne of Brittany died at 36, likely from a cruel stone in the kidney. Marie de Medici died after years of swelling and breathlessness, her last days small and still. Spain's royal line shows every kind of end. Joanna of Castile died at 75 after years of confinement. The cause is unclear, the sadness plain. Maria Cristina de Bourbon died after a long illness, lines of care on her face. Isabella Farnese died of natural causes in her 70s, but still shaped heirs, and policy with a steady hand. Isabella II, once a queen and later an exile, died with influenza. Far from the throne that had named her. Old words can blur the truth. Writers used dropsy for swelling from heart failure, fever for many infections, and consumption for tuberculosis. Many queens likely had cancers with no exact name in their time. Many died of infections that today a simple course of pills could beat. Some were said to die of grief, which often meant the heart and body gave up after too much loss. Even when the labels are uncertain, the people are clear. Pain is pain. Courage is courage. Love is love. Hold a few more names before we close. Catherine I of Russia died after a lung abscess. A woman who rose from low birth to the highest seat and paid the same price all bodies pay. Anne of Austria, as we said, fought disease of the breast and still kept a country steady. Mary of Guise, the French regent and mother to Mary, Queen of Scots, died after illness while trying to keep a crown safe for a child. Caroline of Brunswick died with rumors, not answers. Sometimes the truth slips away. Constance of Sicily, strong in law and in lineage, died with cause unknown, but a legacy that joined empires through her son. Step back and see the whole. Childbirth shows what was asked of royal women. Executions show how fast a court can turn. Plague and smallpox show how weak a wall is against a germ. Strokes and weak hearts show the limits of even the strongest body. Old age shows that sometimes the gift is simply time to say goodbye and to go without fear. If you are still with me, watch till the end, because the last lines tie the story together. Stay with me until the last name appears today. Like this video, share it with a friend who loves history, and tell me which queen you want next. Make sure you subscribe and keep the bell on so you never miss what comes after this. And remember this simple truth: behind every crown is a person, and every person, even a queen, has a final day.